that yes, he has a very bad win rate, but he's picked almost every game. I'm like, well, that doesn't.
Well, true, but what does that mean?
That doesn't matter. But anyway. So, nothing, another Abaddon ban. EG still scared of the Abaddon Lesh combo? We're going to see another Lesh ban coming out from EG?
Yeah, looks. Is this the exact same order as last game?
Exactly.
Same side.
Ban Centaur,
I think you ban
guys.
Centaur. Yeah, I actually think you do instead of. Unless you plan on first picking.
No. Don't ban him. Play him.
Sorry, Sense fan.
Play him.
Play!
Yeah. Do they value the Leshrac so much that they're willing to risk the Centaur pick? Let's find out.
Speaking of
Silencer's a
Swindle's
very,
heroes, though, I think we should credit him to a lot of that play on the Disruptor.
Yeah.
Thought he had some seriously good glimpses and silences.
The Disruptor made a lot of plays, and that's what EG was missing. They were missing a Disruptor, somebody to capitalize on that team fight. They had nobody for Universe.
Yeah,
So.
this is the epitome of EG versus Complexity. One team lost, but they still do the exact same thing. Just ban the exact same heroes. We'll see if they pick the exact same things. I would love it.
See, that's the long con.
It is.
The Complexity long con is to play Leshrac every single game and then actually have it be Centaur as their best hero.
Wow.
There's a lot of
what a
thought
con.
going into this pick, though.
Oh, yes!
Oh, snagged.
What a life we live, guys. What a time.
Amazing.
What a great era this is. Centaur first pick.
The dankest timeline.
Wasn't during elimination when he got picked? We're like, he'll never get picked in CM. Man, we are dumb.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
What?
We've been,
Who said that?
No,
That was you, Trent, if I recall.
That was not me.
I'm
Yeah.
checking my
Yeah, Trent.
I'm checking my files, and it
God,
wasn't
if only
Trent.
there were
Oh
only
my gosh, I have the
live
Twitch
videos.
clip right here.
Checking my log files real quick,
I have
guys.
this USB drive.
I'll play it into the
With all your
microphone.
lies.
Hey guys,
you.
this is Trent, eh? Ain't no one gonna be picking no
I like
Centaur.
hockey.
Now, if you excuse me, I got to drink some maple syrup.
It's just Irish all over.
That was actually
Sorry.
so bad.
That was you.
Yeah, Trent, that's you. That's
That was you.
on the
That's what it
official
sounded
record.
like, wow.
Oh, toy.
Whoa! First pick, Shadow
What
Fiend.
the fuck is this?
They are believing in Mr. 747. My
I mean,
goodness.
Are they ever?
He looked good in game
He
one. TA versus Shadow Fiend is not an easy matchup for Shadow Fiend. And
What's
they still
good
were
against
able
You ready
to
for a
knock it
Z
out.
free
It's
clock,
not Shadow
guys?
Fiend.
Yeah, what does completely shut down Shadow
Dude,
Fiend?
they
besides
give you
Viper?
Z free clock right now.
Shadow Fiend has
that's the play.
0 viable counters.
I mean, we
I
saw
was
TA
actually saying the
dumpster
other
in
way
lane.
around.
I don't know.
How does Storm fare against Shadow Fiend mid?
Oh, good. Well, if we're
Oh, thanks, Grant.
The problem is you don't know until you see supports, because nowadays it's not really 1v1s. It's who
yeah.
has an Earth Spirit, who has a Ricky.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Dazzle,
Ricky.
number 2, Slacks.
I would love to see a Rick.
I wouldn't mind.
So this is basically them getting a good partner with Shadow Fiend and then not commit. They're
Yeah.
they're forcing EG to possibly commit to a Slardar into a super anti-armor hero. So it like works with both the synergy of Dazzle and Shadow Fiend, but it also saves you in case they go back in towards a Slardar minus armor.
This is when you buy Butterfly on Centaur, guys. Like,
Why?
you're gonna
What the
minus
hell?
armor.
What are
I'm
you
gonna get
talking
big. Fuck Halberd. Fuck Halberd. I'm going Butterfly all the way, for sure. This is a Butterfly game written all
Shut
over
up,
it.
son.
No. Last
back
game,
to
actually,
admitting, dude.
Halberd last game would have been great for Centaur, actually, after his armor
Didn't
item.
they win the game?
I mean,
I'm just saying, for his because he was gonna go for a Shivas, and I don't think that was the right choice. But
Halbert's
luckily for them,
okay.
they won, like Grant said. You know, very lucky.
Yeah, we would
They
be
had
singing a
Bloodthorn, you
different
idiot.
song, as they say.
All right, they had Bloodthorn. All right, forget it. No, they had Lotus Orb though. You can take that off.
Talking about
Fuck are you talking about?
What? Purge is
You guys not hear
talking.
Purge?
Jesus.
oh, Purge said
he's
something?
right.
I'm not talking
Yeah.
to myself, I swear.
Oh, sorry. We couldn't hear Perch. It's not
All right,
wired
basically,
like
the moral of the story is Butterfly, guys.
that. Okay. neat.
Okay. Well,
Just
when
watch.
Centaur gets his Butterfly, I think that's on the Betway bet slip. Actually,
That's-
if you guys wanna check that out.
That's like
There's
having
a,
two Stampedes almost.
Oh, there's a
you know?
35 times payout on Butterfly Centaur.
The over. No.
Wait, is there actually?
No, are you kidding
Do
me?
you
The
know
over
how
under
much
on Bill.
value that is?
Dude,
Incredible
that's a
value.
legit bet.
All
Wait,
in,
you said it was
all in.
40? 40 to 1?
All in, everyone.
Get your money.
My God.
Get your tax returns. It's time.
Could you imagine if these two ran a betting site? My God.
Butterfly Centaur.
You know,
100
technically
to 1.
speaking,
Put it in.
if you win the game, like, and they say GG, you go buy a butterfly and you win the bet.
Oh my.
Oh my
I mean, how legit
God.
is that?
Well, there
That
you
is
go.
legit.
Careful, admin. Careful.
Yeah.
You have
Don't overstep your boundaries.
you have fucking
That's
things.
true.
Easy,
That's true.
boys. All right, everybody rein it in here. What do we got going on? These teams, they're being serious. They're thinking about these 3rd and 4th bans pretty hard.
All right. Well, you asked about asshole mids up against Shadow Fiend, Tinker, Invoker. Good call. They leave in the OD with an Earth Spirit, which is kind of scary, I would say.
Yeah.
But OD has an associated playstyle that maybe Complexity are kind of fine with EG moving themselves into.
And there's the Slardar ban.
Lardar.
Slardar.
You know, when I was at what the fuck was that tournament I was just at? I don't know.
Star Ladder?
Something with Star in it.
Starlad.
Everyone was telling me that Dazzle was a great hero. It would deserve to be picked. We'd argue about it on the panel, and then he would still lose every game. So we're still doing that. It's still a shitty hero.
I mean,
I'm over Rubik. Rubik is fine now.
really, you can
It's
see.
okay.
Well, that's progress.
He's okay.
But with Z Freak, that
Wow.
playing
I'm
it.
shocked to hear that, actually.
Yeah. Z-Freak Dazzle? I mean, what a fucking waste of talent to
Dude,
put Z-Freak on Dazzle. Good God.
What if it's Boots' first poison touch level 1?
That's a waste of the game. Then you've just lost the game. Here I come.
Gotcha.
Deso Dazzle mid.
I like these EG bans, though. All of them very targeted at what Complexity likes to do. Spirit Breaker, Slardar,
Move around the map.
a lot of
Z-Freak.
mobility.
Yeah. Their next choice in like that Z-Freak hero, probably the most important one, so we can try and figure out what Monkeys wants to do. Like, do we want to move into an Underlord sort of a strategy where he'll be playing that in the off lane and we just gotta group up around our Shadow Fiend and fight there? Are we still gonna go back for the Z-Freak Clockwork? Still very viable with the Shadow Fiend. I think it could be a very solid option for them here as well.
Complexity thinking hard. It's
Oh.
the
Oh
silencer.
my
again.
god.
So they're going to stick to what worked last game.
Oh yeah. I mean, we saw how EG had problems working around that global ult. I mean, they were so scared until Silencer dropped it.
Do you think they could pull the curveball and switch that silencer off of a core roll? Like, so we saw Melons play it
No.
not too long.
Not with the
Not with
dazzle.
Dazzle.
Not with a
Yeah.
dazzle. All right.
Really?
Dazzle
I
core?
think position 4 Silencer is actually kind of fine, but you're right. They would need like some pretty
It's
heavy control
Z-Freak
from
though,
the other
man.
two.
That's not a good hero.
Yeah, Z Freak.
No, you just buy Helm, and then you can still abuse like
Yeah,
it's
but
still high.
You
APM
want Z-Freak on
skills.
these sexy heroes, you know?
Yeah.
Silencer's not a
What is
sexy
not sexy
hero.
about Silencer?
That is not sexy. I'm sorry.
What do you
That
think
is-
unders his helmet?
Look at that jawline.
I mean, that is the most boring sex of all time with this guy. Let me tell you. Just look at
Oh.
his face.
It's
Pretty
quiet.
quiet.
It's quiet sex.
It is exactly. It
You're
is
just
very
doing
quiet.
it, and then they're shut up. Keep going. Very frightening.
Silencer does look like a stern man.
It really, yeah.
It's some
What are
50
those?
Shades
And
shit we're getting into.
what
right
are the?
now.
What is the term for like monks back in the day that hit themselves in the back? You know what I'm talking about? Like they torture themselves?
Flagellators.
Flagellated.
I think
That's
that's
what
called
Silencer
sadism.
feels.
It's
Well,
flagellation.
it's a form of sadism. Yeah, that sounds right actually.
Yeah.
Why are you flagellating?
I'm one of
what's
those.
what's the?
Have a lot of flagellation in
Every
me.
time
you
I
know?
get a pick wrong in a draft screen, I just punch
just
myself in the dick.
I flagellate
That's why my
myself.
voice is so high.
Well, damn, these teams are really taking their sweet time here.
Well, this is
a
a show
lot to
match.
consider. Dude, there's a lot on the line. Right now, EG walked into this like, all right, guys, this is going to be easy. Complexity are a bunch of bitches. And they just got knocked down in game one.
Jesus.
I actually heard him say this.
Now we're talking.
I actually saw that on Twitter. So.
Oh, can I talk about this a little bit? Warlock
Please.
was huge in the last tournament. Teams really value this hero just because of the counter initiation, and a lot of people were saying that Warlock, it's all about that, long cooldown on the golems and stuff. But man, he has just been
10
top tier
seconds
with the
remaining.
bonds again. He's in a really good place too with the talents as well. I've been seeing a lot of
5
that
seconds
chain
remaining.
healing from the last word. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
basically always up. So
Yep.
he's great, man.
Reserve
Warlock's a
time.
very good pick.
Yeah, and he's very strong against someone like SF Dazzle, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that whole idea of just grouping up around that hero and then having a Dazzle who's trying to push you in further into the enemy territory. So
Kind of comes to who ults first, though, right?
It is.
It's also just great with Earth Spirit and Centaur in terms of potential combo. Magnetized with Fatal Bonds, for example. Lots of damage. But there's the Clockwork.
sense. Now even better, trying to find that Warlock in the back, as he said, trying to find the initiation. I do think that we're still looking for a Monkeys hero here. I think that's going to be a Z-Freak clock and then the Moo Silencer. And now picking Ember into Silencer is a little bit scary.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little greedy now, though, from EG, right? I mean, all these guys need some levels and some decent items. I guess Earth Spirit.
Well, last time they literally had 0 lane supports. Now they have Warlock. Although Slardar did amazing, so I guess it didn't matter. They did win the lanes.
I really like the way
that
Complexity
greedy,
have
though?
set themselves up here, because now they can just do this the Moo Silencer, and they can go into this Monkey's Clockwork if they want, and put him in the off lane, or they give it to Z-Freak. But let's say they think they need like a little bit of help mid to make sure that Suzy gets off to a good start. Like, you obviously committed to his hero very early. You assume they're going to have some good answers for it. They could just go back for like an Ogre or something here, and throw that in the mid lane to start out and get his ball rolling while Monkeys just takes the clock off lane. So this is a good strategy for them moving into the final pick once they see what EG want to throw mid or safe lane, depending on where this Ember goes.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm just looking at this EG lineup thinking Complexity needs a pipe pretty much as soon as possible.
Reserve time.
There's so much magic damage on this team. You put Centaur on top of that with all his burst. Owie.
Yeah, it is a lot of
It's
magic.
okay. They have Dazzle.
Like chains into Stomp, double edge with the burn.
One of them will be able to live 3 more seconds. It's all good.
You know, I hate to agree with you about my favorite hero Slacks, but this is going to be a tough Dazzle game, and now even worse. Clinks with an Orchid hopping into backline, killing the Dazzle. Maybe he won't go Orchid. Maybe he'll just 3-shot him with a Desolator. You know, to each his own.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Dessa is too much, like, actual, like, 3,500 for what it does. He'll get, like, a Bloodthorn after that, but, yeah, this is going to be a rough Silencer and Dazzle game, but we kind of said it was going to be a rough Silencer game last game,
for the
and
eye,
it was
too.
fine.
Yeah,
5
they both
seconds
made it
remaining.
through.
So we're looking for an off lane.
No,
But
what?
It could be
Support,
off
right?
lane or it could be position
It's
4.
hard to say.
I'm pretty sure Monkeys will play the clock this game.
10
I'm trying to think of what
seconds
off laner,
remaining.
like they could go Underlord, and I think that would be strong enough to warrant a support block.
5 seconds
Oh, that's
remaining.
interesting.
I don't think Underlord's very good versus, like, Ember
why?
and Warlock.
Bounty Hunter.
I like him with a pipe though, just he's a
Why?
natural builder, but instead they will go back for the Monkey's Clock and a Z-Freak bounty.
All right, Aghanim's bounty. Let's do it, Z-Freak.
All
Do
right,
it for Daddy.
Aghanim, you know, Suns fan. I don't know, guy. I like this EG draft a lot better. I think they've just got more damage, more options, more sustainability. It just feels like a stronger draft to me.
It's easier. It's easier to pull off. I mean,
Yeah.
Warlock just has to drop an ult, and then basically everyone knows exactly what they have to do. I mean, complex.
Yeah, I feel this game's going to be more on mood than last game. It was like Suzy and Monkeys like playing super good. I think this one's going to be a lot on mood. When he uses silence and when he wants to save it.
To be fair though, as you said, Monkeys is kind of on a roll today, and now he's got this big hook initiation, so if he can find that Warlock in the back, and we talk a lot about this 5-man Dota from Complexity. Clinks can struggle against that, right? He likes to snowball a little bit with those pickoffs, and if they can group up early enough, meaning that Z-Freak got those earliest levels into the track, then they could be all good.
Okay.
All right, well, with that said, we've got a game. Let's get into it. It's Annie and Purge once again here for game number 2.
Thank you very much, panel. I'm AnneDroid, being joined once again by Purge. We are in game number 2 of the Betway Arena King of the Hill show match. We've got another hype game on our hands. Purge, what's going down with you?
Much. I'm just watching these cogs get denied in the base by Suzy here. It looks like he's going to start the game with like 9 to 12 bonus damage, or bonus souls actually, which should make his mid lane pretty straightforward. In fact, this is a huge advantage when he's going against an Ember Spirit, because Ember has really low armor, so I kind of like this strat here. And Clock also really fit what they needed. They have really weak lockdown this game, and if Clockwork can actually get initiations in and get cogs off on important heroes, then that should mean that it's going to keep EG where they want them to be when there's a global silence. But past that, I'm kind of scared about their draft. I feel like it doesn't fit together as well as the last one did.
Well, if there's anything we've seen, Complexity, they can definitely go with that really tight 5-man strat and just not bleed anything away. Of course, going to be difficult with the Centaur on the other team. I mean, who would have thought Centaur coming into the show match was going to be, you know, the guy, the most intense hero. We'll see if
Not me.
Universe can have the same impact that Monkeys did last game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see his playstyle, because Universe is a very conservative player. He farms pretty safe. He tries not to die very often. Monkeys died twice in the lane, but then ended up making amazing plays. And I think Universe is really good at that as well in terms of teamfight initiations. But I'm curious to see itemization that he goes, how much he spends time farming jungle, for example. It'll be cool to see the playstyle differences, but the big matchup's definitely going to be mid here now that Shadow Fiend is so much bonus.
Yep, Z-Freak was hopping around looking for that courier snipe, but didn't find it at that, immediate level 1. Still going to be hanging around. And this mid lane is going to be pretty feisty. You talked about, Sumail's low starting armor. He grabs that 1 point in Flame Guard. But now that that's over, Z-Freak just going to go chop him down a couple of times. There's a
It's
sentry.
going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah,
They maybe could get a kill here.
They need a raise. They just don't have the range.
Okay, either way, still really good harass there onto Sumail. Shadow Fiend currently seen at 1 in 15. Pretty good. Pretty good last hits for the start of the game.
Yeah, well, cogs count.
They do, yeah.
He hasn't just
But
been
this
a
is so
deny
tough
monster.
for Sumail. He didn't actually bring himself a salve, I don't think, with the start. Although they're going to catch.
Oh,
This is huge.
7-4-7! They're turning this right around. What was going to be a really difficult lane for the Ember Spirit is now just, easy money.
That's so big. And he loses half of his souls dying like that, so the advantage
Down
that he
bottom.
had a bit from the cog was huge.
Universe running away from a pretty nasty initiation. Of course, the level 1 poison touch. Always difficult to lane against, even as a centaur. He's got that level 1 return.
He'll be okay, though. And he's got Shadow Word as well. It's a huge amount of heal. So he's going to be okay. That was absolutely crucial gank. And the crazy part is it was just partially because Suzy stayed way too long. After that last creep, he was feeling so confident, and Sumail was able to get him with the Searing Chains. He not only was taking Ember damage and Earth Spirit, but also creeps as well, which definitely impacted his death timer.
So up top here, how do you feel about this Clinks on Clockwork lane?
It's kind of a weird lane here. He's doing
Yeah.
a great job draining Arteezy's mana. And that's super huge because now Arteezy can't actually go invis, and he also can't use his mana to use Searing Arrows to try to harass down monkeys. So this is definitely an area where monkeys could get a solo kill. If he just gets on top of Arteezy straight on, then he can kill him with Battery Assault, just walking him down like a normal hero. So this has got to be a little scary for Arteezy here, getting mana drain this much.
Yep, another thing to point out is Z-Freak's been super mobile, able to go. He de-wards the sentry ward mid lane, and he's making his way up the top, but there is another sentry here, so Arteezy will have some idea what's going down.
Yeah, so unlikely that Bounty will get on top of him, but still comes down to Monkey's gap closing here. And he's still got a salve to go, and a poor man's shield as well, making it a lot easier for him to survive in this lane against the guy that only hits for 45 if his arrows aren't on fire. This could... Okay, he's still
man,
pushing
he's
him.
got nothing. He can't even do one Searing Arrow.
I thought maybe he'd go for him there with the Battery Assault, but playing it safe.
Yeah, back in the mid lane, 7-4-7, just enjoying the slap fest against Sumail, but we've seen just how lethal this Ember Spirit can be, especially with a nice little rotation from one of his supports, but everyone's staying in their own lanes for now.
Yep, the crit's still moving around level 2 here. Melons has been doing a little bit of pulling, grabs 2 points of Poison Touch, curiously. Generally seen as a bad thing, just because Poison Touch becomes much better at level 4, but the points like 2 and 3 are kind of weak. But the damage scaling's quite good, and the extra slow can help. So, see how it changes things. Still, I'm sure Suzy really wants to get a kill on Sumail here, but his HP's in kind of a dangerous area, and he does not have his bottle just yet.
I mean, they're trying to go in, they're trying to
slow.
force something out. Now, 7-4-7 does have the raises. Can he hit one more? Searing Chains disengaging the fight from there. So,
Huge mistake from Sumail.
He was still poisoned. Bounty Hunter. He's
Yeah.
got the Orb of Venom, so there was still hero damage being applied, and the salve was cancelled.
Oh, what a huge mistake, because now he has to walk all the way back to base instead of being able to stay with, 3/4 experience, or HP. And Suzy can just go hit up the shrine in the meantime, gets a huge advantage here against Sumail. No kills yet, at least, but not where they wanted to be.
Yeah, definitely going to make that a little bit trickier. The last thing you want to do is leave a Shadow Fiend in lane to collect all his souls, and then you have to go back in lane against that.
Yeah, that's way harder to play against.
Yeah, we'll see
And
crit
he
come
is
in.
maxed out.
I mean,
He is.
with the Earth Spirit, there's potential that they could go in for another one of those First Blood type ganks where, Sumail baits 7-4-7 into the river and they roll in and shut him down, but he's pretty beefy right now, almost level 5.
Yeah, and a double raise like that, and also the shield's gone. He's got to be a little careful. He's consistently using Searing Chains at the right time, right when 7-4-7 could kind of pressure for a kill. Sumail definitely knows the limits of his hero. Maybe a gank on Universe?
I mean, they're thinking about it. They dropped that level 2 Poison Touch on him, but like you mentioned earlier, the Warlock heal just kind of nullifies all that.
It's actually so much heal that it gives. 25 times, 12 or something? That's huge. That's like 2 tangos within 12
Oh,
seconds.
7-4-7, caught out in the river once again, goes in, trying to raise, trying to right-click, but just gets completely focused down, can't even get off one defensive move.
And that's the issue when you're playing against an Ember Spirit as a Shadow Fiend. Like, if you have anybody else show up and you're able to land a Searing Chains like that, you just die. Your HP is not enough. It takes 2 raises to break his Flame Guard, and you can't. It's difficult to land 2 of those in melee range. It's just way too much damage. So that's 2 deaths now for Shadow Fiend. Really good roaming by crit. It's occasional, but when it comes in, it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, we've been talking about, how terrible it was that Sumail had to leave the lane. Well, that kind of, makes it back into mostly a blank slate. Obviously, the 2 kills aren't on the Ember Spirit, but the assist gold's there.
Yeah, he's actually way ahead in terms of farm now. He's 400 gold up, despite Shadow Fiend being a little higher in last hits. And arteezy was kind of zoned in the top lane, but and Monkey's actually top net worth right now. He's doing a great job here. Doesn't have a dust though.
Oh, he goes forward, making crit miss the boulder. They bring in Z-Freak, but with Zai there, it's just they're outnumbered. Monkeys is going to be going down. He's got that Warlock damage on him. Z-Freak, he was looking for arteezy.
The poison.
The Orb of Venom is not going to be enough. He gets out with 3 HP.
That's I think that's a Z-Freak mistake actually. I think he could have hit before he Shuriken, but he Shuriken first, and if he would have hit first, it would have been a Klink's kill. So huge plays on the top lane for EG there, getting 2 in response for nothing. Pretty massive. And if Clockwork had Chainmail instead of Robe of the Magi, he also wouldn't have died there. Or at least he would have probably gotten the kill first.
Well, initiation attempt onto Sumail, but that's a big target there. They're going to bring crit forward. This Dazzle is in some serious trouble. He gets off the grave, but I don't think they're going to be able to turn this around. Suzy, though, he's moving forward. They've got the Centaur ult to get EG out of the river. So just going to be cutting losses. Sumail was double damaged. Maybe could have found a kill, but it's not worth gambling the life of your mid laner.
Yeah, no, especially not with only 1 Fire Remnant. He would have jumped in and been committed hard. So they end up being okay, though. No deaths. That's going to cost Swindles a lot of time, but that's okay for support. He's already pretty leveled anyway. He's level 5 at this point. So I think the big question is Monkey's going to have good rotations here. His laning stage went fantastic, but now he's got to get something done on the map. And the problem is he can't really gank Sumail. So if he really wants to gank, he kind of has to like TP to the bot lane or something like that, or find a support.
Here we go. Sumail, he's ready to jump in. Fire Remnant back and forth. They want to get the kill onto Z-Freak, and they will do so. You can tell 747, he's just so hungry for that Ember Spirit, but he can't catch up to him. Sumail, phenomenal at staying just the right distance away so that long-range raise won't clip him.
Yeah, they're playing so well around Sumail here. They know he had a hard lane. They're showing up at just the right times to give him advantage. And sitting in good positioning as well. Right when he gets things get a little dangerous, crit jumps in, stuns the enemies, throws the heal on him, and then they can go off somewhere else and get something done. EG's rotating extremely well, just like last game. It's probably one of their biggest advantages right now as a team.
Crit is thinking about that arcane rune, but just gonna get denied by Melons. He's saying, if I can't have it, no one can.
It seems like Swindle's doing fairly well this game so far. Universe does have good levels himself, level 7 picked up. He's actually really farmed. He's actually got top net worth. What the hell? This is not good for Cole in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean,
that means a really fast blink.
He hasn't had, the easiest lane ever, but of course the Warlock heal is just making it so he's never really leaving lane. Always soaking, always finding a couple of last hits, and
yeah, probably jungling every chance he gets to. Swindles just does another single pull, just doing this really safe because he doesn't want to get ganked. So all it takes is like a Centaur and an Earth Spirit and he dies 100%, so he's got to be careful. I'm curious to see what he does with this skill build. I don't know if he'll max Poison Touch this game. The fact that he has 2 makes me think maybe he's thinking about it, but it's just not good. Almost always.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta get a little bit more into the heal, keep your teammates alive. You can see how effective the heal is. Zion the Warlock, Caster's Curse here. I'm talking about how good of a healer he is. He's about to get jumped. Will he go down before the rest of the team gets in there? The Centaur ult going through. It looks like Monkeys may have to be the sacrifice here. He's just sitting back, waiting for death, but at least the Bounty Hunter gets out alive.
On the bright side, he also breaks an infused raindrop charge on the Centaur before death.
Okay.
Pretty amazing. That small advantage here. Z-Freak's still not even 6 yet, so this is something they really need to get accelerating here, because I feel like Cole's gonna get things a little out of hand. They've got pretty good net worth here. It's basically both teams are sitting perfectly even with all 3 of each team's scores, but I feel like EG's gonna have better gank pressure coming out in a little bit, and because of that, they should be able to win some early skirmishes. But if Cole can get a faster 6 here on Bounty and then get some kills going, everything kind of changes. But Z-Freak's really far behind this game. No boost yet for him, just an Orb of Venom, so looks like they'll try to give him some solo experience here to pick up the 6 and then hopefully get some track gold.
In that last fight up top, do you think it would have been beneficial for Moo to pop the global? Because he did have it. He was already level 7 by the time that fight went on.
I think the only way it would have been beneficial is if you popped it before the Centaur ulti, because once Centaur ulti's popped, it's just not worth it. It's not going to buy you time. It'll just buy you, like, what, 4 seconds for them not to cast their spell on you, but they're going to run next to you. Can they get a kill here? Arteezy revealing the gank, though.
He's all clinked up. Is he going to go in for this? Zai is in some serious trouble. The Warlock goes down, but they don't want to trade for a mid laner. Oh, they're going to have to. Now, Monkeys will be able to TP out successfully, but that is not a value trade. Support Warlock for your mid Shadow Fiend.
Surprisingly, they actually got more gold from it. I'm going to wait to see the fight recap here, because I was also a little surprised about that, but is it ever going to come? Oh, there it is. Pretty even. Yeah, better. Definitely better for EG here.
Yeah, but it's allowing sumail just to style on Melons right now. He has to go grave himself, and oh, can they actually turn this around? The flare! He's going to jump back in with the Remnant, dodging the flare and saving his life.
Okay. It's kind of a good try by Swindles. I would have been really blown away if that happened, but it didn't.
It was almost awesome.
It's almost awesome. The Blightstone and the Weave and the Poison Touch damage definitely getting Sumail very low, but you know, when you have like no HP and your grave is about to end, anything kills you. And that Ember just jumped in with a Remnant and he dies, so that's kind of a big death. I mean, that's a solo queue. Or a solo kill. A 310 gold advantage there for Sumail killing Melons. And he's done this kind of twice now where he comes in and tries to do fancy things and it doesn't completely work. And it's always closer to him dying than it is the other way.
Crit sees the Shadow Walk, but oh, they actually got the cogs on him. He's sitting there, he's tracked up. This could be our first track kill of the game, and it will be. Golem sprayed out by the Warlock, but is it going to be enough? 747, he's just got nothing. He's got no armor. Oh, he's just so dead. Z-Freak continuing to chase. Not going to be enough to get the track kill onto Arteezy. Searing Chains connects onto 2. Z-Freak is obliterated. Monkeys, he wants this so badly, but they're just fighting a couple men short. Can Clockwork actually go back in on this? He doesn't have hookshot. He's just going to have to go with a lucky battery assault, if anything.
Yeah, Sumail's got 3 bottle charges as well. This is actually kind of dangerous here for Clock. He's got his, armor.
They're not going after Clock. They're going after some easy pickings there. Moo on the silencer.
They're super misplaying right now. They just got a lot of deaths that didn't need to happen there. This is like last game, except EG just stomped the fight in response. And EG obviously has a lot more kills now, 12-3, and the net worths of the rating team are really falling down. But they just weren't expecting Clinks to be there because Shadow Fiend was playing real aggressive. The other mistake is Swindles wasn't there. I feel like a Grave could have definitely turned that fight around a little bit, or maybe even like a Weave on some allies, but it was just like Shadow Fiend taking the damage at 3 heroes. They got the good Earth Spirit kill, and maybe they felt comfortable and confident because of that, but way too confident, and that's going to lose them their safe lane tier 1, which is a huge issue when you have a carry silencer, because now him gaining farm is a little bit more difficult.
Smoke up, but it's going to immediately break onto Universe, who's crawling into their jungle.
They didn't see the smoke break, unless they just decided to keep running that way anyways.
Either way, Complexity are getting some information on where the Dire team is. This could get very bloody if EG are just going to rotate up through the river.
Yeah, and this tower's not dying fast enough too. They're definitely going to get there. It's going to be like
they're going to get sandwiched too because Ember Spirit's TPing in behind the tower. Crit just flies right on through, but Arteezy is able to get the kill on the Dazzle before any Grave is sprayed out. This is it. The Shadow Fiend just pummeled. EG have showed up to this game, and they're ready to go get some team wipes before we even hit the 15-minute mark. Z-Freak, he's coming in. Little bounty hunter, you going to do it? He's trying to go in onto that Arteezy, but even the Rocket Flare isn't going to be enough. Hook shot, though.
Got the hook.
You might be able to get Crit here, just kicking him right out of the cogs. Now just a little private fence for the Earth Spirit. And even if they lose Crit, that is still not even a bad fight for EG. They got the Shadow Fiend down for the 5th time.
Yeah, Clockwork's really showing his value here. The hook shots are basically the only lockdown they have, but as soon as EG gets a force, it's going to be even harder to get initiations.
Weren't able to silence down the Ember Spirit in time. He bops over to his Remnant. And we are going to see the track gold coming in for Complexity, so every little kill they get is going to help out a lot, but they can't afford to let their Shadow Fiend keep going down like that.
That tower kill is really huge here. Shadow Fiend just has to get a little bit more tanky, like Dragonlance BKB.
He has to not be staying on the high ground here. He could be in trouble. Centaur has a blink ready to go. And there he's going to show it off onto the Dazzle. That is just a lot of damage coming out. We talked about Arteezy having such a tough time in lane with Clockwork always blasting down his mana with the cogs, but now he's able to find a couple breaths of fresh air to himself, and he is just having a great time.
Yeah, Swindle's way out of position there. He wanted to get a ward down. They thought maybe they would get an engagement here. He had a good weave, but he got found, and very easy kill. He does have 3 points in Poison Touch, so he is planning to max it. It's a kind of a greedy build. Sometimes just being a little bit too far away from a shallow grave target changes the fight, because that's kind of a lot of the value that Dazzle gives you, is that somebody that should die stays alive for 5 seconds and then keeps him alive. But once he gets it maxed out, at least he'll be throwing out stuns if the ability lands.
EG definitely have a wave of momentum here, looking to continue to cash in on that. Of course, a couple of nice track kills, especially if 747 rakes in the gold, so that's going to be great. But he could also just die again. Nice global silence, at least delaying the inevitable, but a couple of Requiems going forward. They still get down that Shadow Fiend. Now arteezy is going to get very, very low. He's tracked up, but they just don't have the damage. With Shadow Fiend dead, you see the Radiant just running around. Chickens with their head cut off. They can't find where to initiate.
And Swindle's really messed up that fight. He needed to grave the Shadow Fiend there. Like, he had a lot of time too. He was probably waiting until he got a little lower, but his movement speed, he was turning around, running away. When you have level 1 grave, you got to be really close, and you got to be ready for that. Maybe he's worried about the Earth Spirit silence or something, interrupting it or something, but even casting Shadow Wave after he messed that up too.
Is Sumail going to go for this?
Not playing super well.
Sumail's going to go for this. Crazy boy. Just trying to see what it can do.
He's just poking.
Yeah.
It's very, very reminiscent of TI5.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a pretty clutch global silence by Moo. Unfortunately, it was a very small radius. Everyone was partying in the cogs, and Shadow Fiend kept getting punched.
Yeah, he was very committed to that fight, that's for sure. I'm looking at Clock right now. He does finish Blade Mail finally, but thinking back to where he had huge net worth, and he's been playing well, I think. Monkeys is definitely holding this game together a bit, but they need a little bit more impact from some other heroes because they're consistently losing engagements.
I'm really concerned for 747 here. I think he makes up such a huge portion of complexities, real teamfight potential and right-click damage, and he's suffering right now. He's got a Dragon Lance, Treads, and a bottle. Like, those are his only items.
They're efficient ones at least, but he's got 6 deaths here. The fights have not been so good for him. All it really takes is a good grave engagement where he gets a kill or 2 before death, and everything changes a lot, because that should allow him to push his team a bit over the edge. Kill the tanky heroes. If they kill just Ember and Clinks, the fight's over, because all of the damage of EG is gone at that point. At least a lot of it. So that's how they've got to take their fights. Keep the Shadow Fiend alive. He's the front and center tanky guy. Maybe it'll be the Silencer as well, but somebody's got to get graved, because we haven't seen a really useful grave on a core yet.
Crit and Universe scouted out by Clockwork's Flare. Just going to be backing themselves away from that shrine. Meanwhile, arteezy taking full advantage of the break in the teamfight action to go back and continue to farm up. He's already got himself a fort. He's already got way more than the Shadow Fiend, and he's got more on the way here. Flying in some goodies, and it will be a full Hurricane Pike now for our Clinks.
Yeah, I like that he went Force first, since it's so good against the Clockwork. If he ever got ganked, he could just get himself out, but now he's got even more range. Lower chance of him being in a dangerous area when he's actually fighting in the engagement, so very good build for him. Very safe, and that's really all EG needs, I think, because if they just keep winning fights, then there won't be track gold.
I mean, there's been a couple of track kills, but for the majority of the time, the track targets are able to walk themselves out to safety.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's not like Z-Freak's even that farm. Just Tranquil's Orb, and he's trying to finish an Urn, very close, but that's not really good minutes, or good items for 18 minutes.
Yeah, definitely riding the struggle bus there. We see EG kicking stones into the Roche pit. And they know something's up. It's not usual for Complexity to be this far behind and just be completely off the map. They see that now they're going for that tier 1 top push. A couple heroes waiting around the tree line, and, well, they get what they want and they will back out. But smoke
So
in. They're trying to catch this off guard. arteezy going to walk right up to Monkeys, and Monkeys is silenced, Monkeys is stunned, Monkeys is dead.
Does buy out at least, so he doesn't lose too much there, but that's a dead hero. So 30, 40 seconds. Oh, if they get Moo as well. No, okay, I'm sorry. That's just an allied creep.
Got him.
Z-Freak trying to spot out the mid lane. Tried to pull the creep wave to the right side if possible. That way the tower dies slower, but they still get the tier 1. On the right side, Cole's been using this time very well. Melons gets an aggressive ward down. Shadow Fiend farming up the top lane. They're all TPing though. They're going to try to kill him.
747 makes his way into the trees. Can he actually get out here? There's a global silence, so no hoof stomp available, even if they could see him. A nice little safety net there for Moo. Yeah, they really couldn't take that chance.
That's actually quite good how that worked out. I mean, they lost a hero. Clockwork died. They lost a tier 1. Shadow Fiend got a pretty good amount of farm.
Mid lane, Bounty Hunter just completely full health to no health. Sumail just keeps dumping remnants on him.
Yeah, Searing Chain's very good for that. But that was, as a whole, good. They lost Global Silence, which sucks, and that's going to lose them Roche, but Maybe they wouldn't have been able to take the fight anyways. It's hard to say, but with Bounty dead, they definitely get Roshan. A little slow going. They don't have too much minus armor here, but it will die. Unless
Will
Monkey
die,
wants
but-
to YOLO it.
I mean, Monkey scouts everything out with the flare. They've got 747 smoked up. Can they afford to take this?
Pretty good weave.
cast
Got
out.
4.
Yeah. And they're going in. Nice little hook shot there onto arteezy, but that is an ambitious kill. Meanwhile, Golems, Searing Chains,
Oh my God.
utter death and destruction. It's not looking hot right now for Complexity. 747 makes it up to the high ground, sprays out a Remnant, but then immediately
Still
dies.
not
Does
great.
take out arteezy. So there's going to be no more Clinks in this fight, but right now it's just EG going for the cleanup crew, and they should be able to find the Dazzle. Monkey's visible as well. Got the blink on Universe, but did they
We
actually...
still have not seen a grave on a core. He pump faked it. He was trying to hold it, just trying to delay it, just didn't come out. And then Shadowfiend died as a result. Shadowfiend did get his ulti off at least before he died, so he did some okay AoE damage in the fight, but that was pretty much it. And with Ember hitting the backline like that, oh, the fight was just over. Great observer ward placed. Just the obvious one. You put it on the cliff to the left when you're dire. That way you see where they're approaching. And Silencer, and who else was back there? Was it Bounty or something? They just got blown up to AoE damage.
So, I mean, I think you'd agree things looking pretty all right for EG now, riding that momentum.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot for Complexity to get back in this, and, well, losing your Clockwork is not a way to do that.
You see Sumail missed his combo there because the
I don't
Clockwork
think it
died too
mattered.
fast.
Yeah. How dare he die too
noob
fast?
Sumail.
He's messing up Ember Spirit's combos. And now Sumail can go for more here. He's got those 2 remnants. He sees Moo. I mean, it's now godlike. We're 21 minutes in the game, and Ember Spirit has yet to die. 9-0-8. And Monkeys. Oh, Monkeys could be next on the menu as well. He's trapping himself in the cogs, but he'll get Searing Chains in. He's trying to hookshot himself away. Will be able to go, make his way to the creep wave and TP out. But all of that while arteezy is going ahead and taking an Aegis for himself.
A small victory for Complexity. And this game looks like what last game could have been if EG just didn't lose that early fight. In that they got their heroes that can get solo kills and gank. They got them to a position where they're
Speaking of
ahead.
solo kills, Melons is on an island here.
He does have a TP. arteezy probably can't kill him, honestly. As long as he gets his grave off and TPs, he's fine.
Centaur's
So he's
in the
waiting
lanes,
for
though.
Universe. He'll go now.
Yep. And there we go. Just gotta wait for the grave. And Dire's Courier was killed by Z-Freak up here in the top lane. Just went behind the tier 2 and stabbed that thing, but
That's
think
actually really huge because
it's-
they're so far behind that Courier Snipe is a ton of gold for their team. And they just need SF to get a BKB because he knows he can't rely on a grave, so BKB very important this game. But even with it, like he's still gonna die fast because you've got a Clinks here who's finishing his Deso. Like SF BKB doesn't do anything against Deso Clinks. It'll just stop like Sumail damage. Basically all the other 4 heroes, the BKB will be great.
This is really dangerous. You can see Universe just going down to the low ground like it's nothing. He is not scared of any sort of counter initiation. He's got the rest of his team behind him, and well, you see the Radiant. They're going up to the top lane. They really don't want anything to do with this wad of scary heroes.
Yep, they're gonna have to go back in a second though. It's important that they came up here either way just because it gives them the potential of split pushing, but it's about time to fight here. Pretty good weave, got 4 heroes again.
Yep, Fortify spent out, so it's just going to be a slow whittle of damage. Now the Atos comes in onto arteezy, but he's able to plop that off. Got the Lotus Orb ride, and then he's just going to be walking away. Not a scratch on EG.
Okay, that's an Ember Spirit Lotus Orb. Interesting choice. I was like, who's got a Lotus Orb? That's a good timing. It's their mid.
Yeah, I was like, that is really early to see like a Centaur Lotus Orb, but yeah, he got it. I mean, what else does this Ember need? He's rolling in it.
I really thought this was going to be a Octarine core or something because he had Arcane Boots.
Oh.
Nope, they're going to get one.
They used a scan, got some information, but roll away. Crit makes it all the way down to the low ground, able to blink to his side of the map. Now Z-Freak still charging. Sumail's going to eat an Atos, but he's still sliding around there.
Wasted
He's silenced.
series.
This could be huge. Sumail cannot afford to go down. He will make it up using one of his remnants. He's still tracked, but he's completely fine now. This Warlock is doing God's work here. Just
Yeah,
keeping his
Lotus
whole
Orb
team
super
alive.
paying off. So it kind of like solves every issue that he has this game, actually. I totally forgot about the global silence, but that's the most obvious one. Prevent the silence, just remove silence from yourself. You can also remove track. You can also reflect track. You can reflect poison touch. You can stop poison touch from affecting you. There's so many things that this counters this game. So it doesn't necessarily stack with the hero super well or make his abilities better, but it kind of just beats everything that the enemy team has.
Yeah, I mean, itemization in Dota is all about solving the problems you have. Now, here we go. Shadow Fiend in some serious trouble. Global Silence committed, but look at the right clicks. He don't even tickle Sumail. Sumail's
Those are a lot of
actually...
misses, I think, but
Yeah, I mean, there was certainly some misses, but it's
no hook
it's
shot.
not great when that's your mid's damage output.
Definitely not.
And nice little initiation by the Centaur. Able to force and blink himself in. This is just heroes dying
Arteezy
one
called
by
Silencer.
one. Silence here onto the clockwork. He's trying to run, but he can't hide. He's just making his way forward into the wad of heroes. Another double edge takes his life. And we're continuing to pressure up onto the high ground. This time a grave might be enough to save the Dazzle, but nope. One more click. And it's GG called out by Melon's Complexity. They took a successful game 1, but they just got to tap out and try again. Game 2 was not their game.
Yeah. This is the game that we were expecting to see in the first game, but I think Cold's draft was similar in vein to what they wanted to do in what they did in the first game, but